Suzette, what has been the most beneficial professional development opportunity you have provided for your coaches?
Well, what I'll say is I took over this job a year ago, the end of the school year last year, which gave me some time to kind of think about, as the assistant, what are some of the issues we've had that coaches were unclear about. For me, it was the handbook. Okay, we've all, as coaches, been handed a handbook. We know we're supposed to read it, live by it. Half the time it ends up in our desk, right, or on a shelf somewhere. So I thought I'd handle things a little bit different, because that's really going to be our guidelines. That is what we're going to live by. And so we wanted to develop a couple things coming in. I wanted to make sure that our district, we're a one-horse town, so a little more involved when you're in a community, kind of out in the country a little bit, and everybody's grandfather and great-grandfather went to school there, right? So everyone's very involved, which is a great thing. But we wanted to make sure that our community understood what we stood for, and we wanted to make sure that we were representing the community of East Central in the right way. So I brought in all my head coaches, and I asked for their input. I thought with buy-in, and getting their input, we'd have more buy-in. So we created what we call our pillars of success. We did this throughout the summer with our coaching staff, as well as community members, business members, ex-athletes, and we said, what are the most important things that East Central ISD Athletics wants to stand for? And we're going to create these pillars of success, and that's what we're going to live by. So through a lot of hard work, our coaching staff and this group of community members and ex-students, we came together and we built the pillars of success for East Central Athletics. Those are the 11 pillars that we stand for, that we live by, that we want to make sure our coaches are represented every time we're on a court, on a field, or in a classroom, or just out in the community, that we are representing this community in the right way. It's very important that to us that we represent and teach, and that everyone knows that at East Central we want to win. Absolutely, we want to win, but we're more worried about making sure that we create better people first, better students second, and better athletes third.
And after being there a year, talk about some of the positive stories of some of your coaches that I guess you didn't know about, and boy, it turned out really, really good.
So part of the reason for wanting to create the pillars, as well as we did the same exercise with our coach's handbook. Okay, I didn't want to come in and say, these are the rules and these are the policies, right? So let's get together and what are the things that we've had concerns about, that we've maybe not seen eye to eye on all year long or the past couple of years. Or some programs run a little, they have a little more whip in them than some other programs, which coach may not be as strict and follow through with the handbook policies. So we got the head coaches together where we agreed on what we called our coaches guidelines corner. Our coaches guideline corner is what it's called. Anyway, so there are things that we all agree on as all head coaches that our programs are going to live by, from our quitting policy to, our grooming policy, to locker room policy, ISS policies, everything that we had issues with before, whether we thought it was good or we needed to work on that a little bit, we created those together so we can hold each other accountable. And that's probably one of the things that I really have seen happen throughout this process, is that I'm not having to make those calls or those emails. They are kind of policing themselves because they created the guidelines for the head coaches and for the programs, and so they're trying to hold each other accountable for it. And knowing that they had buy-in in creating that document has made it a lot easier for us.
Suzette, talk about your relationship with campus administrators and practices you have in place to foster a partnering relationship with that leadership.
So the fortunate thing for me is that I was an assistant principal on our campus there for 7 years before moving back over into the athletic office. Again, being in a one-horse town, my office is at the stadium, which is at the high school campus. So it's real important for us to foster that relationship. And so we are in constant communications. We have weekly meetings with the admin. We work admin schedules together for duty rosters and coverage. And most importantly, we want our coaches to remember that they need to be a great teacher first before they even think about becoming a great coach. Okay, it's what they do in the classroom first, and then what they do on the field second. So we constantly do rounds with them. Myself, as well as my coordinators, especially our new coaches on our campus, we have a rotation in what we call rounds, that we go around once a month to all the classrooms, but twice a month to those that are new teachers on our campus, and check in, see how they're doing. What can we do to help you? Is there any assistance that we can be? We also go in and speak with the vice principals that are in charge of that particular discipline and say, hey, how's Coach Reyes doing today? Has he been doing all right? Is there anything we can help you with? Anything that you saw the last time you went through and did a walkthrough that maybe we could help coach him up on? As well as, be there to support not just admin and coaches, at the same time. It's a partnership. We got to do it together. The biggest thing, though, is that understanding the master schedule and what it takes to run a school building as a principal, because as an AD, I want lots of coaches, right? I want to ask for an extra coach. I want an extra athletic period, but I know that all of that is not all possible without taking care of the classroom and making sure that we don't have 40 kids in a classroom. So I understand that part, and that's important to our principal and our admin at the high school, is that we have an understanding of what their life is like, and so it's a give and take for both of us there.